Hello, Facebook friends. All right, it looks like we're live. My name is Andrea Hyland. I am talking about transforming grief for 44 days. So yesterday I gave an overview of radio shows that I hosted back in 2010. 44 days of radio shows with 27 guests. And I see Cherry Lee Ward. She was one of the guests. I'll be talking about our show later this month. I'm trying to remember if we did it. We did it right around the new year because we had the Burning Bowl with that. Well, yesterday I talked a little bit about honoring your feelings with grief, and I laid a foundation. That video, that Facebook Live is on my page, and it's on the Heal My Voice page. But every day I am posting one of the radio shows. So today was show 2, which was with Debbie Phillips, and it is, let me see if I can get the exact title here, Grief Relief, with Debbie Phillips, Finding Comfort After Loss. And I just want to give you a little bit of a disconnect there. So I wanted to give you a little bit of an overview of the show with Debbie. Debbie Phillips, first of all, let me tell you, she is the founder of Women on Fire, which is a membership organization that provides inspiration, strategy, and support for women to live extraordinary lives. She authored the award-winning book, Women on Fire, 20 Inspiring Women Share Their Life Secrets and Save You Years of Struggle, and it's volume 1 and 2. So that's a little bit about Debbie. But this day 2 show, we talked about grief relief. It was something that Debbie, growing up, had an interest in just this whole idea of life and death and what happens after we die and understanding it more. Her grandmother died at the age of 10 when she was 10. No, Debbie was 10, not her grandmother, but Debbie was 10, and she was really aware of how people around her didn't want to talk about grief, and that when she went to the library to look for books about grief, that it wasn't open, wasn't open arms as a discussion. So she wanted to be able to have discussions. And as an adult, she was dating a man whose mother was a hospice nurse. And at that point, it was in the 70s. Hospice was new to the United States. Matter of fact, a lot of people called it hospice. And Debbie and I talked about that on the show. So I just want to give you a few of the snippets that we talked about also. One thing, and I made a few notes. One thing is, we talked about how in our society, people seem to be uncomfortable or awkward about what do you say when someone has a loss. And a couple things we talked about was, number one, you don't have to fix anything. Matter of fact, if you have a friend who has lost a loved one, you could offer and come and sit with her. There are some cultures where that is what people do, is they sit in silence. They just sit to be with the person, to provide comfort in that way. Because what can you really say? And one of the things that Debbie and I were talking about was some of the awkward things people will say, like, time will heal everything. Yes, time does heal. You do get over the numb feeling of grief over time. But grief is a cycle throughout your life. And just as the seasons change, there are times where something reminds us of a loved one. And so we want to be able to remember that person, just like you would remember going on a trip with someone that was memorable, or a Thanksgiving that was memorable in your life, and you'd want to be able to share that again. It's the same thing with people who we love who die, and we remember things about them and we want to be able to say it. So creating that space for people to be able to share what they're really feeling. One of the tips we also talked about, because Debbie and I had both had the experience of loss, is that one of the things I noticed after my husband died was people would say, call me if you need anything. Well, I was in a state of numbness. I didn't know really what I needed or what I wanted. And so for someone to offer something, like to offer, would you like me to bring food tomorrow night? And to see if there are any dietary restrictions or something that you would like, or offering to cut the grass, or offering to take your pets to the vet. I mean, specific offerings so that the person who is grieving can say yes or no, that they don't have to think through a lot. And I just, having lost a son and a husband, there is just this state of numbness where it's hard to know what to ask for. There's a certain level of effort. So that was something that both Debbie and I were sharing. So I made a few notes so that I could remember a few more things to share with you on this Facebook Live, and encourage you to go listen to the whole show. It is radio show number 2, and it's posted on my page and on the Heal My Voice page with Debbie Phillips. Well, hello, welcome, someone from Turkey. I'm glad that you're here. One thing that Debbie said to me that really struck me, she said, we grieve alone, but we heal in community. We grieve alone, but we heal in community. No one can take your grief away. No one can predict the amount of time that you need for grieving. No one can predict when a cycle of grief will come around for you. But we do need people, and so we do heal in community. Some of the things around the holidays also, if you have lost someone, or if you find that there's another cycle of grief for you that just feels really raw, like you feel raw. And with Thanksgiving coming up, and then all of these holidays with lights that we're about to go into, there are a couple of things. One is the tradition of having an empty chair at the table where you honor the person, that there could be a point with a holiday where you feel like you just want to feel that that person is there, or you want to acknowledge them. Another thing is when there's that raw grief in particular, is encouraging people to tell a story that makes you laugh, to remember something that is heartfelt about the person. Another reminder is to be gentle with yourself, and to move your body. I'm even aware of having this time right now where I'm holding a space for grief for the next 44 days for everyone, that it's really important to do things to move the grief out of your body. I noticed this morning I was wide awake at 1:30 in the morning, and I know it was like there was just so much emotion running through my body. So I got up and I was walking in the house, and so dancing or exercising, something, even asking a friend to go for a walk with you where you're just quiet and you do have some comfort in that way. And then, it might be that you cook someone's favorite meal, or you cook a favorite food of theirs, because it just feels like you want their presence there. And that's one of the ways. Sometimes with grief, we actually want to bring it in closer to us. We want that comfort. And I found also that the first year after my husband died, I wanted my daughters to know that that even though we missed him and that we loved him and he would always be a part of our lives, that I wanted them to know that we were going to be okay, that we had each other, that, especially when there is a parent figure that dies in the household, just knowing that, although it could be anyone in the household actually, of just saying, we're here together and we're going to be okay. So to create a tradition around that first year, that first holiday, I bought a necklace for each of my daughters and myself that was the same necklace that was unity with us. And actually, it was the shape of a woman's body, that here we were, powerful, strong women. All right, well, as a reminder, I'm posting one of the radio shows every day. So today is show 2 of 44 shows. These were originally broadcast in 2010. And I'll tell you, re-listening to the shows, I'm so aware of the timelessness of them, of this topic, grief relief, finding comfort in loss. And so I encourage you to listen to the show. It's posted on my page and also the Heal My Voice page. All right, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow with day 3 of Transforming Grief. Bye-bye now. And post in the comments anything that's going on for you with grief. Thanks for being here.